People say you never truly know someone until life forces their truth to the surface. And that's exactly what happened on the night a powerful CEO mocked a poor waiter, not knowing he was the very person she had been searching for. It happened fast, so fast that by the time she realized who he really was, her hands were shaking, her throat locked, and the restaurant fell silent around her. It all began with a moment she thought meant nothing. But sometimes, the smallest moment becomes the one you can never forget. Before we begin, if you love stories that touch the heart and remind us of the goodness in this world, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on Kindness Tales. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life. The evening was supposed to be simple. A fancy business dinner at one of the city's most expensive restaurants. CEO Madison Hart was known for running her company with unmatched sharpness. To many people, she was a symbol of success. But to the people who worked under her, she was something else entirely, someone whose eyes rarely softened, whose voice never bent, and whose standards felt impossible to meet. She walked into the restaurant with power in her steps, wearing a fitted navy suit, gold earrings, and a reputation so heavy it nearly entered the room before she did. Her assistant, Emily, hurried behind her, clutching folders and a tablet, trying her best to keep up. The restaurant was warm, dimly lit, filled with soft music and softer conversations. But the moment Madison sat at her reserved table, she clicked her fingers sharply, impatiently, as though the world owed her speed. A young waiter approached. His apron was slightly worn, his shoes scuffed, but his eyes kind and steady. His name was Daniel. He greeted her with a gentle smile, but Madison didn't even look at his face. She looked at the notepad in his hand, the stain on his sleeve, and exhaled as if disappointed by the sight of him. "You took long enough," Madison snapped. "And I hope at least you know the specials, unlike the last guy you sent." Daniel swallowed, still smiling politely. "Yes, ma'am. I can read them for you." "Read?" She scoffed. "Do you not have them memorized? Is it really that hard?" Emily shifted uncomfortably beside her. Other tables turned their heads for a second before looking away. Daniel continued kindly, "Ma'am, I can memorize them if that's better for you. But I wanted to be sure I get everything right." "Oh, please," Madison muttered. "Just get me sparkling water. Cold. And no lemon. If you bring lemon, I'll send it back." Daniel nodded respectfully and left. Emily leaned closer and whispered, "Ma'am, he seems like he's trying." "He seems like he's slow," Madison said under her breath. "I don't have time for people who can't keep up." Emily sighed but didn't argue. As the meal went on, Madison complained about the noise, the temperature, the bread being too hard, the music being too soft, and Daniel returning too slowly. Each time he approached the table, she found something to criticize. When dessert menus arrived, Daniel held them out politely, but Madison waved them away. "I doubt you even know which dessert is your most popular," she said. Daniel nodded calmly. "Actually, ma'am, it's the—" "No," Madison cut him off. "Save me the speech. Just bring me the chocolate soufflé. And this time, try not to take forever." Daniel nodded again and walked away, though his shoulders sank for a moment when she couldn't see. Emily watched him quietly. She had been Daniel's classmate years earlier. They weren't close, but she remembered his kindness, how he used to help others without being asked, how he stayed late cleaning up after events no one wanted to manage. He wasn't slow. He wasn't incompetent. He was simply someone life had treated harshly. "Ma'am," Emily tried softly, "maybe." "Emily," Madison snapped, "don't start. This is business, not kindness hour." When the waiter returned with the dessert, Madison barely looked at him. She was reviewing documents and speaking sharply to Emily. She reached for the dessert without paying attention, but her sleeve caught the edge of the plate. In an instant, the chocolate soufflé slid, the plate tipped, and warm chocolate dripped onto her sleeve. She gasped loudly, then glared up at Daniel. "Are you serious?" she shouted. "Do you not know how to place a plate down properly? This is a $400 suit. Do you know how much that costs? Of course you don't." The restaurant fell silent. Emily's eyes widened. Daniel stared, not angrily, not defensively, just quietly, like he had learned long ago that yelling didn't mean hate, it just meant hurt. "Ma'am," Daniel said softly, "I'm truly sorry. Let me." "No." Madison barked. "Don't touch me. Just get out of my sight. I can't stand incompetence." Daniel nodded once, respectfully, and stepped back. But before he walked away, Emily's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, her face shifting from confusion to shock. "Ma'am," she whispered. "What now?" Madison snapped. Emily leaned toward her ear. "That's him." Madison frowned. "What are you talking about?" Emily's voice was barely audible. "Ma'am, that's the man from the files. The one who saved the kid last month. The one you wanted to thank personally. The waiter. That's him, ma'am." Madison froze. Her breath caught. Her fingers stopped moving. She looked up slowly, really looked this time, and saw Daniel standing there quietly, hands folded, eyes humble, waiting for her next instruction. Her heart dropped into her stomach. The viral video that had touched millions, the man who had jumped into a river to save a drowning child, soaking wet, risking his own life, the anonymous hero the world had been searching for. It was him. Daniel. And she had mocked him, insulted him, humiliated him publicly. Madison's throat tightened. Her eyes stung. Her voice cracked when she finally spoke. "Sir, can you come back here?" Daniel approached gently. "Yes, ma'am." Madison swallowed hard. "I owe you the biggest apology of my life." The entire restaurant watched. "I treated you terribly," she said, her voice trembling. "I was rude, disrespectful, blind. And you didn't deserve any of it. You're a hero. I should have been thanking you, not tearing you down." Daniel smiled softly, not proud, not smug, just kind. "Ma'am," he said gently, "I don't do things to be thanked. I just try to help where I can. Anne. I know people have bad days." Madison covered her mouth as tears filled her eyes. "That doesn't excuse how I treated you." "No," Daniel said, "but kindness isn't about waiting for people to be perfect. It's about understanding them when they're not." His words hit her harder than any punishment could. Madison stood, extended her hand, and said, "Thank you, for your courage, your kindness, and your patience with me." Daniel shook her hand with a warm, quiet smile. From that night forward, Madison changed. Not because she was embarrassed, but because Daniel had shown her what true strength looked like, gentleness in the face of cruelty, compassion in the face of judgment. And she never forgot it. Sometimes, the person we overlook is the one who teaches us the greatest lesson. And sometimes, kindness isn't just something we give, it's something that saves us. So wherever you go, choose kindness. You never know whose life you might touch, or who might end up touching yours.